Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I'm sharing a what's for dinner video with you guys. It's been a while since I've shared one of those, and it is also a little bit different style than what I'm used to sharing. So make sure you let me know either in the comments or with a thumbs up or down, whatever, if you like this style video. I plan to do it this way again, so hopefully you do, but I will try to link all of the recipes down below in the description box. If you have any questions, let me know. But let's go ahead and get on into the video. So the only thing you guys missed was me putting the chicken thighs into this glass pan. These are bone-in chicken thighs, and I coated them with some garlic, salt, and pepper. And then my husband took Brussels sprouts and rinsed them off really well, and then is drying them, cutting off the little butts on them. There we go. Cutting those guys off and taking off any yellow leaves. Once we do that to all the Brussels sprouts, they're going to go into a Ziploc bag, and you're supposed to use olive oil, and we don't have any, so we're going to use vegetable oil. Hopefully that'll taste okay, but we're going to put some oil in there with some salt and pepper, and then kind of roll it around and zhuzh it up to get all the stuff all over the Brussels sprouts. And then we will put them onto a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper and bake it at 400 degrees for about 30 to 45 minutes. And the recipe we found online said to take the baking sheet and like shake it every like 7 minutes to kind of roll the Brussels sprouts so everywhere gets browned. So we'll see how it goes. And then we're also going to make homemade mashed potatoes. Well, we're not making potatoes because I was editing a video and then got sucked into watching other YouTubers. So I'm gonna throw some mac and cheese together real quick. And this is done. Woo! The Brussels sprouts look a little too done maybe, but the chicken looks good. So I put that on warm for right now so I can finish the mac and cheese. So I will show you guys when it is plated what it looks like. So here's how everything turned out. I tried one of these and it is really good. I think if we used olive oil it would taste even better, but I definitely want to make these again. Of course, mac and cheese, nothing special. And this is my favorite way to eat chicken. My husband just kind of peels it off the bone for us and we just eat it like that without any sauce, and it is amazing. So tonight for dinner I'm making the chicken enchilada casserole. Now, it didn't say to season the meat necessarily, but I'm going to. So I'm just going to use some garlic salt and some pepper for that. So let's go ahead and put in the chicken. I have about 5 boneless chicken thighs here. Alright, after we season, we're going to go ahead and put in our enchilada sauce, which is spilling everywhere. This is a 28-ounce can, by the way. And then go ahead and clean up your mess if you're like me. But we're gonna go ahead and cook that on low for 8 hours, and then after this is done cooking, we'll do some more to it. Alright, so all I've done since you last saw me is start to cut some olives. The recipe does not say how many olives to use or how many cups of cheese to use or anything. There's like no details on it at all. I'll see if I can maybe link the recipe down below in the description box for all the recipes that we use in this video, but this one doesn't give me any type of measurements. But after I cut the olives, I have to cut the tortilla, what are these called? Tortillas, duh, into strips. Don't know how many, so I'm gonna eyeball it. And then I need to shred the chicken. And now I'm just kind of making a mess. So the way that I'm gonna shred the chicken is I'm going to take them out and put them into this bowl over here, and then I'm gonna use a beater for it. It shreds so easily. So then the recipe said to put the tortilla strips in, and the olives, and half the cheese. Again, it didn't tell me how much cheese, so we're just gonna guess. Okay, so after we add 5 cents. So after we add this in, we're gonna stir it around. And then it says to add the rest of the olives, which I guess I didn't do a very good job with, like having them. And I put a ton of cheese in there already, so we're just gonna let it sit. It says to cook for 1 more hour now to get the tortilla strips nice and soft. So we'll check back with you in 1 hour. All right, well, my husband added some more olives and then kind of stirred it around. I don't know, I think our chicken it's like obliterated. It's not even like chunky pieces of chicken or anything, but we're gonna go ahead and put it into bowls and then just use some tortilla chips and make it like a dip, and then we're gonna add some sour cream. So I'll show you that plated here in just a second. So here's how it turned out. I forgot to show you before I like mixed it all together. It's really good. I think we should have added cumin, and I think next time we're gonna use chicken breasts instead of the thighs, and that way I think it won't just completely tear apart the chicken as much as it did, but it's really good. So we're just kind of either just eating it off the spoon or dipping in some chips, and it's really good, so we're definitely gonna make this one again. So we're making beef stew, and it's a new recipe I've not tried before. This has 2 whole carrots sliced in the bottom, and then this is, I think, like 4 celery stalks. We have 1 whole yellow onion under here, and this is 1 pound of yellow potatoes, the little potatoes cut up. We have our stew meat. We're using 1 packet of this beef stew, and then we're using 1 whole beef broth as well. These are still partially frozen, but it'll be fine. So now that everything is in the crock pot, we're just gonna go ahead and cook it on high for 6 hours. So here it is in a bowl. I don't have a whole lot of broth because I don't really like it. My husband has a lot. And then we're also just gonna have some bread and butter and dip it in there. So tonight for dinner I am making sloppy joes. Each can calls for 1 pound of ground beef, and we are a family of 5 and we also like to have leftovers. So we're making 2, and it's pretty simple to follow. It just says you cook the meat, you add the sauce. There's no instructions there. Asked to be called chef, and then you serve it. So what I'm going to do is after I brown the meat and add the sauce in there, I'm going to kind of let it simmer for probably 5 minutes or so, and then I will serve it on some buns. I was going to use French fries as a side, but I don't have any actually, so I'm not sure. Maybe we'll just do chips or something, but I will show you the process here in just a minute. So these are the buns that we're going to be using for the stuff. Here it is all mixed. It's been sitting for a few minutes, so we will scoop that onto the buns, and I'm going to put a little bit of butter with the veggies. Well, here's how it turned out. Not the most nice looking. Also, I got these upside down. Originally I had 2 bottoms on one and 2 tops on one, so I had to swap it around. Not the most conventional either, but we got veggies, which is good. We got our protein, so yeah. That's our dinner for tonight. For tonight, we're having this bacon potato chowder. We have made it before. I'm not sure if I have shared it with you guys before or not, but this cookbook is really old. This Campbell's Simple Slow Cooking. We have a handful of our favorite recipes that have come out of this book, but you're gonna need potatoes, bacon, an onion, pepper, some milk, cream of potato, soup. These cans are each 10.5 ounces. So we have 4 of them. The recipe calls for chives, which we have actually never used chives in this recipe before, even though we've made it probably a good 10 times. So we'll see how that goes. I have these left over from when we did baked potatoes like 2 weeks ago. So I'm hoping that they're still good and that they taste good in the soup. So what I'm going to do first is make the bacon just in the oven to the directions that it says, and then I'm going to add everything else in there. So while the bacon is in the oven, I'm just prepping everything else. So I'm going to be cutting the onion, cutting up the potatoes, and then adding everything else into there. So a tip for you guys before you go to cut up an onion, if you don't want to cry, chew a piece of gum. Typically, mint gum works the best, but this is what I have on hand right now, so this is what I'm gonna use. But I'm just gonna pop a piece in my mouth while I cut this up, and I won't cry. I burnt the bacon totally on accident. I didn't even want it to be completely cooked because it's gonna go in there for 8 hours and cook some more. But my toddler was bugging me. I had to go to the bathroom. I kept having to get away from the kitchen, so that's burnt. But I'm probably just gonna try to cut off like the really bad ends and just use the middle sections. So we'll see how that goes. I still need to cut up the onion too. I should mention that I have not ever prepped all of this by myself. It took me like almost an hour, but I feel like if you actually know what you're doing, or if you have like pre-cooked bacon, it would probably only take you like 30 minutes if you didn't have so many interruptions like me. But I'm just gonna mix everything up together really good and then go ahead and put the lid on, and I'm gonna put it on low for 8 hours. So we've already gotten everybody's portions ready to go in our bowls and everything. We're putting some cheddar cheese on top of it, and then we also have some crackers to go with it as well.